I think we've given a pretty good overview of what the problem is, right? So we're dealing fundamentally with entities, spirits, whatever we want to call them, that are external to us in some regard, that are implanting our thoughts with negative thoughts that are theirs, getting us to identify with them. Slowly, we are internalizing that and driven to insanity. So, what would you say to people in terms of how to protect themselves? And like where does it begin? Because you don't restrict this only to schizophrenics and the severely mentally ill. You very clearly state that we're all dealing with this to one extent or another. So, how do we, I guess, tighten up our armor a little, Jerry?
You get on a positive spiritual path and stay there. You know, Christianity, Muslims, I mean, they have the same God we do. I don't know what all the fighting is about. Now, the other thing you need to mention is what they did with MACE with you is they went in there and they got rid of a trauma. So what happens during a trauma is you make a decision about who you are during that trauma, and it's not a good decision. It's always a bad decision. It's not a rational decision. You don't make rational decisions during a trauma. So it's like a program that you have created, a negative program that you've created that's running in the background all the time. Like, oh, this happened to me, I'm no good. Or this happened to me, I'm a bad person. Or this happened to me, I'm worthless. Okay? MACE goes in there and gets rid of that programming. So it's not just the spirit stuff. You know, I would highly recommend MACE for depression, anxiety, bipolar stuff, common psychological problems. Okay. Now, schizophrenia, I've had some success getting rid of the negative traumas that these people have. There have been a dozen or so have completely recovered. So it is possible. You know, psychiatry said, "Oh, it's not possible. Once you have schizophrenia, there's no recovering." That's a lie. You know, I've had at least a dozen people completely recover, completely.
Wow.
Yeah. All right.
What about diet? I've heard several people say getting on a low carb and carnivore diet has helped them as well. Have you done much research into the interplay with diet and mental illness or schizophrenia specifically?
I know that the entities don't want you eating good food. They want you eating junk. They want you to feel bad. They don't want you to sleep. So that's one of the things they do is they keep you awake. If they keep you awake long enough, you don't have the energy to fight back against them. You know? And if you don't know what they are, you don't know what there is to fight against. You think it's you. And that's what psychiatry wants you to keep thinking. That's what psychology wants you to keep thinking. Oh, you have a mental disorder. This is paranoid schizophrenia. You're disordered. You're broken. You know, as long as you're thinking that way, you're going to stay that way.
Right. Let's say if somebody's really struggling with sleep, what can they do? Like,
Well,
because
they
I know
can
a lot of
exercise
schizophrenia.
until they exercise until they wear themselves out.
Mhm.
You know, but the voices don't want them exercising. They don't want them eating good food. They don't want them sleeping. You know,
Right.
now these psychiatric drugs all have horrible. They destroy your nervous system. They actually destroy your nervous system. So, you know, psychiatry is doing damage.
Right.
They're rotting out your brain and your nervous system. Those shock treatments. A neurologist can see the damage done after just one of those shock treatments.
Mm-hmm.
And they're giving these shock treatments to thousands of patients.
Right.
So if you're not sleeping, you know, exercise, wear yourself out, go get over-the-counter sleeping meds or something like that. Now, what the majority of these antipsychotic drugs are major tranquilizers.
Yep.
They calm the person down. And the voices don't like that because they want the person hyped up. They want them angry. They want them paranoid. They want them anxious and fearful. They want that. And these drugs interfere with that.